My guests are the frontman and bassist of the band Cold War Kids, who recently released their third album, Mine Is Yours. Nathan Willett and Matt Moss, welcome to the Top 20.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you so much for being here, because Mine Is Yours, I told you, I've been listening to it nonstop. It is such a different sound. Even at one point when I just put it on, I was like doing stuff, I like made sure it was you guys, because it just had such a fresh and new sound to it. So what inspired that? I know you guys worked with producer Jakira King, who's worked with Kings of Leon and Tom Waits, and did working with him sort of influence that at all, or what was your approach to this album?
Yeah, we had a very different approach to this album. The previous two albums we had recorded very live and spent a lot of time writing the songs in our studio, but would go in to record and just do them really quick so that it was spontaneous above all else. And then for this one, we set aside a few months to be in the studio and went in with no finished songs, so that we would be finishing things there and have some spontaneity happen there, but also be able to really like expand on ideas and yeah,
wrote it all in the studio.
That's interesting.
That was a luxury we had never let ourselves have before. And
we get to grab other instruments and maybe play a part on a synthesizer that can kind of lay beneath the track or whatever. Like it was a very different approach.
Just to let it breathe a little bit more, more of a process instead of being in and out of the studio.
Yeah.
And we took like a 5-6 month gap between two different sessions. We did some of it in LA as well, where Nathan spent 5-6 months writing lyrics.
Well, lyrically, actually, I wanted to speak with you about that, because I feel like as a theme, it's a little less, directly political, much more personal, much more personal album. So how did that come about?
Well, for me, I think for the first two records, like the songs were very like fictional narratives that I felt like I could relate to these characters, but it wasn't like about me per se, and that was just kind of, I think, the way it naturally came out, coming out of school and studying literature and stuff like that, and was all a part of it. And then when I think on finishing the second album, I kind of realized like I wanted to do something that makes me feel like a little scared again, a little more like I'm revealing something that makes me uncomfortable and makes me think like, how are people going to hear this, or that and just that shakes me up a little bit. And so yeah, the idea of kind of writing more about friends and personal stuff and relationship stuff was the thing that kind of did it for me. It took a long time of rewriting to get to that place where I felt like, okay, this is where like this feels good. Yeah.
And the song Louder Than Ever, we're going to see the video for that in a minute. You had tweeted something like it was about being on the road and how hard it is to be away from your loved ones. So is being on the road sort of a bittersweet experience?
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's great. Like we're 3 weeks into this tour right now, and the shows have been so good, and playing these new songs is so great. But yeah, it's always the experience of like even for me, there's always something of kind of a con happening where like you write intimate songs that are about people that I know at home, but like I'm not really at home. I don't live a life at home. We live a life that's constantly moving and
you're nomads with your music.
So there is a bit of the kind of the roving. You start to borrow stories that you're really not a part of. But that's fun. I like it.
Yeah, I like it too.